Good morning and welcome to Ag Talking to Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. Today there's a lot of things on my mind, and I will be expressing a fair few of them. But the topic today is going to be proper representation of agriculture on YouTube. Yeah, there's a subject. What is the proper representation of agriculture on YouTube? Well, I don't really know. We all, as creators, most of us as creators, all bring a unique and special part of agriculture to YouTube. Now, I'm like, I don't even know what the word, the two letters OG. I've been called the OG of farming YouTubers on YouTube. Okay, well, I don't know what OG means, but OG, okay. I don't know. Somebody please tell me what OG stands for. But anyway, so I can easily say that as one of the longest farming YouTube creators. I am not the longest YouTube creator. Actually, Northern Farmer AB, Northern Farmer, Tyson, he's up in Canada. He was producing videos longer than me, but he took a break there for a couple of years. I would say a couple of years that he didn't post anything and then came back into it. So technically for the number of years that I've consistently produce videos for YouTube, I am probably the oldest farming channel on here, which leads you up to, I'm too old to be on here. I mean, I'm going to be 50 in July. I have gone through many different stages of agriculture from the beginnings. We were dairy and crop and hay, and my family was young. And then, of course, the dairy left in 2011. We went to just plain crop and hay. My sister was alive at the time. My kids were growing. My nephews were growing. Some of them are still growing. It's good to see. My kids moved out, moved on. There was a lot of crap that went on in that process that people didn't see on YouTube, and that probably contributed to some of the unsubscribed or, I guess algorithm shutdowns of my channel, because I was very angry at the time. If you didn't know, I did a good job of hiding the problems that I had. If you do know, it's because I probably told you, and maybe you do know. But there was a issue where my ex-wife and my daughter and my former youngest son, Joseph, had basically conspired against me with a DIFUS investigation and caused me to basically lose all parental control. So, of my children, I lost the most formidable years of, most influential years of my two former youngest children. I have William now, so I get to restart, and the mistakes that I made as a young man can be remedied from being a middle-aged man. And here comes my family now. See that little guy, and he cute as a button, right? Right. Oh, you are cute, and you look like you're in your little jail outfit with those stripes. You're going to go downstairs? Okay, you go downstairs with Mommy. I'm sure Mommy will get you some milk. So, anyway, so I guess I was talking about representing agriculture on YouTube. So, in my neck of the woods, I'm in New Jersey, if you didn't know. It's a very tough state to be a farmer in. Prices are high because they have to be imported from somewhere else. As far as fertilizer prices, they come into the port here in Philadelphia, and I don't know if they come in at Newark or not, but for the most part they come in at Philadelphia and Baltimore, Maryland, and they have to be trucked up to me or to my area, which is really not terribly far. The Midwest gets the potash from Israel or wherever it comes from, and it gets on a train and it's hauled out to the Midwest and other things like that. So their fertilizer prices really aren't much different than mine, but it could be higher. But the volume is out there; it's not here. For me to move stuff, around like corn or soybeans or hay, I have to go 100 miles in every different direction. Lime, 75 miles, It's a long different distance. So what I'm showing on YouTube is basic representation of this area and what can be grown here and how it's grown and how what we have to do to get it from the field to an elevator or to a feed mill or whatnot. And I did touch a little bit on this, I think on an Instagram video that I did, and that was that everything's 100 miles away that you'll get the most money for. Now, there are a few places, like right up north here in Warren County, there's a Santini Farms, or ISE, Izzy's is what we call them. It's a chicken farm. They have a pretty good sized grain bin there. You can deliver your corn and soybeans to them, and they will dock the ever-loving piss out of you for foreign matter and other things like that, damaged grain. They will put it on a truck and then send it out to feed mills out in Pennsylvania. So if they're 10 cents under the basis and out in Pennsylvania they're 20 or 30 cents over basis, then these other places, Purdue is another one that's 30 miles to my south in Bordentown, New Jersey, 35 miles. They will be 20 cents under basis when other places just to the west are, 20 to 30 cents over basis or whatnot, because they have to haul it. Now, Bordentown has train railings or sidings, so they can have trains come in and out. So I don't go to those. I haven't for years. The last time I got sued by Purdue because we had a hailstorm came in and wiped out about 300 acres of soybeans that I had, and that that contract that I had made, I couldn't fill it because 60 bushel soybeans turned into 5 to 15 bushel soybeans, and I took in what I had, and they wanted to sue me for the rest, and I got all kinds of lawyer letters and things like that. So that's another thing. Here they will sue you. They suck. I mean, out west I think you can just, and I tried to push the contract forward, and they wouldn't do it. They're like, no, you got to buy us soybeans right now or pay us this right now so we can purchase soybeans. It's like, look, I had a contract and I had a failure. I didn't even get insurance on it because of the deer damage that we had over the previous years, that it had lowered it's just a long ass story that I don't need to get into. So now we're going to let's leave me. So we can go to other farming channels, and, Cole the Corn Star is at the top of the list right now because of the asking for money. Then he came out and he apologized at the end of his last video, and I had to watch it because somebody sent it to me and said, hey, look, he apologized. Well, the fact of the matter is he didn't apologize. He diverted. He said that he didn't ask for money, but I watched the video. He said, hey, here's our special offer to help pay for our bin site. That's asking for money. Oh, and if you don't want to buy these things, you can go to our Patreon and subscribe there, and that'll help us pay for our bin site. That's asking for money, Cole. If you don't think it is, take that part of take the whole video down, re-edit that part out of it, and put it up. Put it back up. The problem is that when you remove a video, all that revenue that it generated and the subscribers that it generated just go poof. So, and trust me, I know, because I've put videos up that were a little sensitive and I took them down, and all that stuff just goes away. So, and Gobble My Balls gets to keep that ad revenue. You don't. So that's just part of the contract, and that's fine. It is what it is. So we can go to Minnesota and go to Zach and Millennial Farmer. He is doing a fairly decent job of representing his area because he goes with master pipe layer, And he shows the tiling that goes on in his area. He shows the type of soil. The weather changes are just dramatic. I cannot believe how Minnesota is. When it says it's spring and it warms right up, and they can plant corn with frost underneath it, which if I did that, it would just rock. So I think Zach actually does a pretty good job. How farms work, and the rest of the story, Travis, those guys out there, they do an awesome job of representing their area. I've been to their area, I've been to their farm. I see how they're doing it. They are farming like most people farm. Honest to God, all around the country, how farms work and the rest of the story, Travis, are farming the way the majority of people do in a cattle crop operation. Make do with what they've got, add when they can. Sell off used equipment, buy used equipment that's better than what they sold, and it's just the way things really do work in the vast majority of operations in the United States. Now, England and Europe are very different than what we are here, and you can go to those other channels and look, but when you see Zach or How Farms Work, and then you go to the lesser channels or the less popular channels that run really old equipment, Bandit Farmer, Travis Eby's a young guy. He's got a unique situation with what he's doing on his family farm. They've got a mix of shake your ass. And
I shaked that yesterday.
She did shake it yesterday, but she's still wearing those 90s, man. They are sexy. So Travis Eby, and he's got some physical challenges that he gets around, right with Andy Detweiler. Not a super popular channel, but it should be because that man is amazing. WT Farm Girl, she shows a first generation hay farm, and she does maple syrup, and she does a really good job. And you can check out all these different channels. And one that I've discovered lately is actually Iowa Farm Girl. The Iowa Farm Girl is if you're a Alice Chalmers fan, that's what they use. Alice Chalmers tractors. They have off-farm jobs, and they do on-farm stuff with their dad and mom, and they have it's just a wonderful channel to watch because that is a mix of older and really old equipment. They go from corn pickers to, I think that's a 1460 International axle flow. I think a 1460, might be a 1440. I don't know. I'm not big on the International axle flow combines, but so they run all those things, and you can get a flavor for how actual rural America is. Now, when you have that heartland kind of Coal to Corn Star area, the Larson Farms area, the Millennial Farmer area, those are the big open operator areas. But there's a lot of fringe areas, and I'm considered a fringe area. There's a pocket of agriculture here. It's not all agriculture, and we're fighting for land to expand huge or bigly, as some people would say. But there's probably 100 fringe farmers for every Millennial Farmer, Coal to Corn Star, Larson Farms. You have Andy up at Farming, Fixing, and Fabricating up there. He's a good guy. That's a dairy farm where they fix equipment, buy equipment, milk cows, and do all kinds of stuff. I'd like to actually go meet him because I think he's a pretty cool dude. I don't get the chance to watch too many of his videos because I don't really watch that many videos. And I actually prefer the fringe operations like, this farm wife, she does a good job. Her husband is an older fella, and they make do with the equipment they have, and the kids are learning a lot about agriculture, whether it be animals or crops or hay. Meredith Bernard is her name, and I think she does a pretty good job. And then you get another fringe like Tara Beaver Coronado or Beaver Vineyards. She does a really good job. She just in 2018 planted a vineyard, and she's farming with her father, and she's got a new baby, and they're doing this wine thing, this grape thing. And I don't catch all of her videos, but she does have some mental health things that she does. And if you do watch her, you'll understand why there's mental health stuff. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a pretty good show. And she does chickens. I mean, if you love chickens, she's your girl. But anyway, yeah, so you have all these little fringes, and they represent their areas of agriculture. Or they try their best to represent their areas of agriculture. My issue with this representation or misrepresentation of agriculture, I think the biggest misrepresenter of agriculture is actually Cole the Corn Star, as of late. Not a year and a half or 2 years ago. 2 years ago. As of the last year and a half. Because if I am like John Q. Public and I click on, I want to go see a farming channel, and I click on one of the highest rated ones, which would be Larson, Welker. Welker Farms does a very good representation of their area of the country as well. They really do. But if you go to the highest rated, I think Cole has like over 500,000 subscribers right now. So he's ranked way the hell up there. Like, oh, okay, this is American agriculture. And then you get this kid wearing fucked up sunglasses coming on with this high-pitched whiny voice saying how he lost all this money, but I bought this and I took this vacation and I'm doing that and the other thing. Oh, and I live in a hoarder house that my grandfather hoarded full of stuff. And and somebody actually made that comment that Cole really disrespects his grandfather. Well, I think they're kind of right, but I don't think it's intentional. I think it's all for show. I mean, that's just my opinion. And my opinion doesn't mean anything really in this day and age. But as far as disrespecting your elders, there's a lot of that goes on. You can bite the gift horse in the leg, or smack the gift horse in the mouth. But to be quite honest, without Cole's grandfather hoarding and being as thrifty as he was, Cole wouldn't be where he is today. That's just a fact. He would have went the way of the dodo, just like a lot of farms did out in the Midwest. His grandfather didn't spend anything more than he had to. He made do with what he got. He got recycled grain bins, and yeah, maybe it wasn't the best site, and the disaster that his family had when the derecho came through would have been a good opportunity to move the bin sites, move the bin site to, a new area. And I know it's expensive. I mean, I just repaired my bin that my dad built for my grandparents back in 1977. 77. My sister was born in 77. So in 1977. So I repaired it. It was expensive, but I made it better. I made it better. I was told that I'd be cheaper to tear it down and rebuild a brand new one, but $70,000 isn't $25,000. And I can expand on my grain bin too. I'm actually going to try and go up three more bands. I'm going to get about 7,000 more bushels in there. And that's in the plans, and I'm not going to go out and spend $1 million in a volatile market that we're going to be entering into due to high inflation, and that's what's going to happen in there. So, I mean, Cole really did a good job early on, but right now it's just, if I'm 6 years old, I'm going to watch Cole the Corn Star. That is a very catchy. I find that when Cole the Corn Star comes on in his opening statements or opening of his videos, I'm watching Mickey Mouse. That's about what it is. It's like Mickey Mouse. And I watch Mickey Mouse with William, but I wouldn't turn it on and watch it by myself. But, it's just stuff like that. And so as far as representing his area of agriculture. I think that there are better representatives of agriculture than that, like Jeff Ramond, Illinois. Here's a guy, doesn't use one brand of tractor. He runs New Holland combines, what they call an offshoot brand, even though New Holland makes a wicked combine. He's a damn good representative of agriculture in his area. He really is. I mean, he shows the same thing with Andy Detweiler. Andy Detweiler shows, hey, this is what we're doing today. This is what it takes to get through today. And he does it with no arms. None, no arms. I mean, he's the T-Rex of agriculture out there. And he gets the job done. And he does a good job doing it. And he's gone through some hell to do it as well. So those channels are really good representatives of that. You get down to Texas, Bales Hay. Or Arizona. I shouldn't say Texas. Arizona. Bales Hay, Arizona. Good representative of what goes on down there. And then you've got Reed of what the hell? Rodeo TV. He, again, cattle farming in Arizona, Nevada, I think New Mexico, in that area. I'm not really sure where he's at, but if you watch these channels, and they're not huge channels that are inundated with glitzy, glamorous, this is my new, or this is what's the best thing to buy. When somebody comes on their channel and says, this is the best thing ever, you need to buy this, it means that they were bought by the company that dropped that thing off there. Okay? And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They were bought by the company that dropped that piece of equipment off there. I've seen so many channels get a piece of equipment dropped off and do these reviews on them, and then poof, it's gone. Where'd it go? Well, we don't use it anymore. It got sent back, So if it was so good and you want everybody to buy it, why didn't you buy it? Why didn't you buy it? I mean, there's a few people out there that do. How Farms Work, they bought their Zone Commander, and what the hell is the name of that thing? It's Earthmaster. The Earthmaster vertical tillage machine, which is technically a high-speed disc, more than a traditional vertical tillage machine. Wouldn't mind having it. Honest to God, I think they got a great thing, and that was given to them for several years, and then they were given the opportunity to purchase the vertical tillage machine, the Earthmaster, and they did. And he actually made a video of it just a couple days ago, and it was a good video. Showed what wore on it, what they would replace. I would have liked Ryan to actually say, hey, you know what, this Earthmaster is starting to wear to the point where the blades are not sharp enough to size the corn stalks and the fodder and just work to till the soil a little bit better. So I would have liked to know what each blade would cost and how many blades were on there. It probably, in my opinion, and I'm not even sure how wide it is, I think it's like 25 feet. It might be a little wider than that. It might be 28, but just say it's 25 feet. I'm thinking that it's going to cost something like $10,000 to $15,000 to reblade and bearing that thing, because those blades are thick, they're heavy and hardened, but they're tough and they last for years. I mean, the first year that I went out to see the How Farms Work fellas was 2017, and it's now 2021. So 17, and I think they got it a year or two before that. So it's either, I know they got it, let's just say 16. So 16 to 20 is 4 or 5 years. They've run that thing for 5 years with very little issues with it. Like now the blades are wearing out. I would be wondering on that thing if you could take those blades off and actually have someone recut the edges of them to make them, to cut them in so that that flat, sharp edge is repositioned so that it would chop those stalks. And I just wonder if there is such a thing. And of course, I haven't been that close to an Earthmaster since 2018, the last time I was out there. And I really would like to go visit those guys again. That is a really good family. And I'm not saying that Cole, the Cornstar's family, isn't really good. I actually think he's got a good family dynamic. I just think that he could do a better job of representing his area. And be a little more honest, less facetious, a little less clickbaitish, and trying to get those high views for that money. Now, it is all down to money. I mean, I make money on YouTube. I really do. I make pretty decent money, and I'm not going to complain about that money. But I'm also not going to say, hey, you know, you guys just ain't cutting it with the clicking on the advertising, so I think you really should just donate to my Patreon so I have a little more money to go buy a sailboat or something. That's just something I need to do. Or my house over in the Philippines, I want to buy another one or whatever, that kind of thing. I really shouldn't say that, but my wife has a house in the Philippines. Me and my wife do. And, it is what it is. It's a house. We're not allowed to go see it right now. And that is really the only vacation that I get, is once a year. And the last time I was over there was in February of 2020 when my grandmother passed away. And I was stuck there. I would have came home early, but it would have cost like mega money to come back early and rebook a flight. And, my dad and my family said, hey, just we're going to wait for you to get back so we can have this funeral for your grandmother. And it was okay. That was all right. It worked out. But of course we haven't been able to go back, and it'll be 2 years in February that I haven't been there. And I'm kind of sad because I really kind of need that time off. There's times that we've went places, but it was always for business. And like when we went to Oklahoma or Texas last year to pick up those parts, tried to make it a mini vacation, but we started having problems with the motorhome. Got stuck in Seminole, Oklahoma, and we were stuck there for a week before I said, F this, and I'm going home. And we did. I mean, we just went home. We just said, "Out to hell with it." And then like 3 weeks later, me and my dad went back to Seminole, Oklahoma, and picked up that motorhome and brought it home. And that was very stressful and expensive. It was not a trip. It was not a vacation. It wasn't a vacation. And I can't think of any other time in between there that we actually took. We made the best of Oklahoma, don't get me wrong. But there hasn't been in 2 years any real time off to go and see something or do something thanks to COVID. And with the restrictions that our governments around the world are putting against us, there's no free movement. So we've got that to deal with. So anyway, yeah. My advice to anybody watching this or YouTube, if you're not happy with the representation of the area that you're looking to see, you can find smaller fringe farmers or fringe channels that are just, just way better and more informative and as entertaining if you're looking for the knowledge of what they do and how they do it. And as a young farmer looking to get into farming, Cole is not your guy. Zach is not your guy. Larson Farms not your guy. These are people that are more advanced than the beginner. If you want beginner agriculture channels, you go to like Bandit Farmer, you'd go to Travis Eby's site, or Northeast Ohio Farmer. Eastern Shore Farmer. Now there's a guy. He's about my age, a few years younger than me. Check him out, Eastern Shore Farmer. He's a little political, but hey, if you disagree that these people should be where they're at, go see the Eastern Shore Farmer. He'll welcome you in with open arms. And he's actually on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. He farms, I don't know how much he farms, quite a few acres, a couple thousand, I would think. He's looking to expand in his area, which is very tough because agriculture is king on the Eastern Shore. They're getting encroached by housing developments and things like that, so it makes it a little more difficult. And but yeah, those fringe areas, those farmers that actually show you what is going on and what it takes to get that seed in the ground and what it takes to make an old tractor go, is where you really want to be. These mega channels that don't show reality, for most people, really, I don't know. It doesn't trip my trigger. I find myself finding the fringe channels now over the mega ones anyway. Partly because some of those guys, and I won't mention names, but some of those guys, they actually contacted me for advice and commented on my channel like, hey, you know, you did a good job and blah, blah, blah. And is this what this is and that what that is? And the minute they got past me on their subscriber base, it was like, oh, one lonely who? Who is that? What? No, I don't know anything about that guy. He's just whatever. Which, I know who you are, and I will not support you. Because you know what? We are a small community, but it's nice to, when one person helps out, you should help out another. Like when someone's doing a live stream and I pop in and I say hi, like, hey man, how you doing? You know, good to see you out there picking corn or running that tractor with your hands on your phone because you got auto steering. I don't. You know, and one of them's wife says, hey, one lonely farmer's here. Yeah, okay, just don't worry about it. You know, that pissed me off. And that happened a couple of times. But you know what? I will say, Travis and Ryan and Andy, Farming, Fixing, Fabricating, when they do live streams, if I pop on and they may not see my name because there's a lot of things going on all at once, but some of the subscribers like, hey, Wes, or hey, One Lonely Farmer, blah, blah, blah. And they'll say, hey, I guess One Lonely Farmer's here. They'll recognize me and just say, hey, excellent. That makes me feel good. Stony Ridge Farmer. Stony Ridge Farmer never fails. He says hello to me. Now, he says hello to a lot of people, but, you know, he came to visit me when my channel was bigger than his. And he continued right on up through till now to recognize and respect the people that are now beneath him. Where there's a lot of the big, you know, the big names, they will not recognize or acknowledge or even post a comment on this. I prompted Cole to post a comment on there, and I'm pretty sure he knows that I said something about his bin site bullshit. Not that it affects me in any way, but it would be nice if he'd just send a message or say, hey, you know, I didn't appreciate that. Well, you know what? Okay, that's fine, you know, be honest. And that's it, just be honest, and I don't feel that you're honest. And that apology, like I said, I think I said it already, that apology, it was not an apology, it was a diversion. It was, I didn't mean to do that. Well, if you didn't mean to do that, take the video down. Just take it down, re-edit it, put it back up again. You'll get 500,000 views on it. It'll come back up, no problem, just that part will be left out. You'll get your same 12-year-old viewers, and they'll watch it again just for posterity. Make you feel good. But anyway, I don't cater to anybody, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, representing your area of agriculture is a good thing. And don't use your channel as a weapon. If you do come on and you do become popular on YouTube, doesn't matter whether you're a farmer, a motorcycle guy, a gaming guy. I did do a little bit of that in my early years, like with a couple of dealerships, and then they realized, well, Messick's, excuse me, Messick's was one of them, and they came and they apologized and fixed it right up because they knew how damaging it was to their business, because they got phone calls like, hey, this guy's really pissed at you, and they straightened it out, and that was good. So anyways, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.